Hi everybody, welcome again to StatSuite channel. We have a new version, version number 5, and we have now the possibility of analyzing contingency tables. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is to load, there is a new example file, and so we open in import export, and the first option is to import export data files of charts. Okay, and now we seek examples from the application. We click on seek file, and we have contingency tables. Okay. So I remind you here, you can preview the content of the file. Okay, it's a short file, and remember that the trial version you can only the length of the samples is limited to 20. So this is a short file. Everybody can load this file. People with trial or full version can load this file. Okay, so we click on load data, and now let's go to global data menu to view the content of the file. So we click on menu, global data. Okay, so here we have the content. So this file shows the opinion of men and women, and we have 5 options. Response, okay. We from disagree strongly to agree strongly, okay. So for example, 50 of the men, they agree, and 20 strongly agree. And in the case of women, it's 35 and 10. So this is a typical case of contingency tables. We want to study if there is the opinion of men and women is the same. They are, we can say or not that the rows and columns are independent. So that means if men and women, more or less, they have the same distribution, in this case, in the response, in the opinion. Okay, typical case. So let's go to the new menu. Here, contingency tables. Well, it's very easy to use this menu. So I'll show you how. The first thing you have to fix is the value of alpha, probability of false alarm. As you know, normally this value is fixed to 5% or 1%. So let's use 5%. And the next step is to click on data. And here we select the variables, the samples for the analysis. Well, first thing to do is labels for rows. This is not necessary, but normally you will have one of the label samples. Normally you will have the name of the rows. Okay, so this is labels, names for rows. So we have 5 rows. So for the same reason, now the length for men and women is 5. Okay, here you will see the samples with content. And in this case, we only have these 2 samples, sample A and B. We select it, okay, for this analysis. And StatSuite will check that the length is the same, okay. And now we can click on close. And we have selected the data for the analysis. Well, the other thing we can change, we can select is the information to display. Now is percentage of the table. Okay, we change this later. Now we click on calculate, and this is the table. Okay, Well, you see that this information to display percentage is the information that is in the parentheses. So there are 20 men that disagree, and 20 of 200, 200 is, there are 200 men and women, so 100%. So 20 of 200 is 10%. Okay, so this additional information is the percentage of the total number, in this case persons in the analysis. Well, what is the result of the analysis? Here in this window, we see that the chi-square statistic has this value, and taking into account the degrees of freedom, I recommend you, if you want to see more technical details, I recommend you to see the PDF file. Okay, and the PDF file you have more information. This video is just only about how to use the application. So remember that in the StatSuite, on the top, help options, you can open a PDF file, or you are watching this video in the YouTube channel. You can go to the forum if you want to ask something. And remember that in the menu settings, there is an option to send me an email, okay, if you have any problem or doubts. Well, so let's close this. And, well, taking into account these degrees of freedom, the p-value is very small, and as this value is less than alpha 5%, so we have to reject the null hypothesis that the rows and columns are independent. So they are dependent, so the opinion depends of being man or woman, okay? We can use another statistic, the likelihood ratio statistic. The value is very similar, and the p-value is very similar as well. And the conclusion is the same, we have to reject. So there is the columns and rows are dependent, are not independent. Okay, so we can change again the information to display. We could use no additional data. Okay, so this is the clean table. Each time we change information to display, okay, or we click on calculate, the analysis is done. And we have more options, for instance, the expected frequency. Okay. The difference between the observed value and the expected one is this. Or this is very interesting, we can see these differences how contribute to the total value of the chi-square statistic. Okay, so we can see where we have more discrepancies, more differences. Okay. Well, so again, now if you want to write a report to explain what is the result of the analysis, remember you have to go to help options, and you copy the results to the clipboard. Okay, so we click on results, and we close this window, and now the two information, the table and the analysis, all this information now is copied to the clipboard, so you can paste it in, for instance, a word processor, and then you can write easily a report about contingency tables. Okay, so this is, as you see, a very easy menu. And please remember that I recommend you to have to read the PDF file if you want to know more technical information. Okay, so that's it. Thanks a lot for watching.